let's see here. So we have the locations somewhere between 8 and 9. These attacks would occur. Anything else you'd like to add, gents?
Well, is this time of year a full moon?
Full moon's not for another 2 weeks.
So is it?
So not werewolf.
They said it's happened in the past 3 days.
So has it
We're
been?
assuming the werewolf follows the rules,
Assuming if such a thing were to
or if it is a werewolf at all.
Not a free change.
Is it?
But all theory.
Could
Does-
be a skinwalker.
Has
we
it
just
been?
don't know.
Has it been heavy on? Has it been heavy mist?
I'm sorry. Heavily misted? I don't believe
Fog.
so. Not at night now. In the mornings, there's a lot, but at night, no, there hasn't been.
So does it make sense for them to attack at 8 or 9 o'clock at night? The
Might
death
be.
has to be quick.
You may be able to get some more information from the locals there in the Paddington area. There's a few
Right.
merchants near some of where the attacks happened.
All
Will
right.
do.
So has the I point down to the corpse. So has this bachelor's home been investigated at all, or
That would be something you'd have to ask the authorities.
Yes, the
I'm
constable.
not sure. Yes, the constable.
Alrighty then.
it'd be kind of the easiest location to take a look at? Since he
Yes.
has no family anyway, we just give a look. Maybe there
Just
was
let
something
the
to be
constable
pursued.
know that
on.
we'd like to investigate.
Yeah.
He gave us the directions. So.
Yeah.
Let's
All
go.
right. So I guess we'll be off to discuss with the constable investigating the bachelor's house, and then hopefully we'll get something from there.
All right. So you arrive at Hughes' home. As I said, he clearly lives alone. Very solitary. You see pictures of, 2 or 3 photos, as they were quite expensive, of him and his wife, as you'd assume.
Past wife.
Believe yes.
Let's make a note of this in case she happens upon us later on. And is there anyone nearby around this house, or like not even like?
It appears to be a pretty quiet neighborhood. There's a handful of other, smaller homes that are nearby, but no one appears to be out or.
Does Hughes' home appear to have is it a 2-story affair, 1-story? Does it have
It's
a
a
basement?
single story,
Single story.
rather small.
Okay.
Single bedroom.
Can we derive if him and his wife had any children?
No, you see no pictures, and there's nothing that would bring you to that conclusion.
I'm gonna go knock on the neighbor's door and ask them if they've seen anybody lingering around the last couple days casing this area.
Okay. A rather spindly, thin gentleman answers. So could I help you?
Yes, sir. Have you noticed anyone lingering around, coming in and out in the last few days?
No, the only strangers that I've seen would be you.
Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. He closes the door again.
Well, the old man wasn't any help.
Oh, thank you.
Can I investigate his room?
Sure.
Five.
All right. With a 5, you find clothing, your basics in the room. You also find what looks like an urn sitting atop a small stand.
Urn.
I don't suppose that urn has a nameplate anywhere nearby.
It does. The nameplate says Loretta Hughes.
Loretta Hughes. Okay, so he was a widower.
Or divorced.
It's an ugly divorce.
It's extreme ugly.
Yes, especially if she ended up in a urn because of it.
Pretty sure that's not how that works.
Because-
Although it may.
Yeah, I divorced you by putting you in a furnace.
Yep.
To be then disposed into an urn.
It's a pretty permanent divorce there.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that appears to be the majority of what you find here.
At least with him being an Undertaker, he got a discount.
I was gonna say he is the keeper of the dead, and nobody's gonna know.
We don't see any odd tokens lying around that he may have pilfered from customers, if you will.
No, he
No,
actually
he
seems pretty a pretty straight edge individual. Everything is very neat and tidy. If he does, it may be stashed somewhere. If you wish to, rifle through his home, you may be able to find something, or you may not.
It wouldn't hurt to take a look anyway. There's really nobody to complain. We're not going to set the place on fire or anything. We're just going to...
Right.
As I light a match as a cigar.
No. We are professionals.
I really like these wool curtains.
Whoa.
Oh no.
I might want to enjoy that outside.
Yeah. So,
once we have found things, we put them back where they belong.
yeah, you take your time to rifle through. You find some old rings and things like that, but nothing that seems nothing with any symbolism or anything like that on it.
Anything of worth?
Sure. Yeah, there's some stuff worth.
Why would you ask that?
I just wanted to see if he has anything to his name that would make somebody want to kill him.
Yeah, the rings would probably be worth a pretty penny.
But that would be assuming that we have burglars that were trying to rob him in his house, which...
Just mark some things in memory for it, because then we could probably see if he had anything in common with Buck Nelson or the other victims.
Right, the jeweler.
Anyway.
The
Yeah.
jeweler. Actually, Georgiano, could you inspect the jewelry to see if there's any signatures that would be in common with the jeweler?
I guess I'll do that.
Knowledge archaeology.
Archaeology?
He has knowledge archaeology. They're relatively old.
7.
7. The only things that you see on them are small markings on the inside of the band. These appear to be in a name in French. What you see.
French jeweler.
Wasn't Buck Nelson the jewelry guy?
No.
Oh,
Can I try and...
LePont was.
LePont. Maybe it was
and
from
on
his shop.
On it, you do see
Yes.
LePont.
Okay.
Alrighty then. We have a bit of a connection here.
I have thief as an edge.
Uh-huh. You'll get a +2 to any...
Can I attempt to swipe one of these rings on the way out?
Sure. And give me agility. I don't believe you have an actual thievery.
Yeah, it's a D8.
Or do you have stealth?
I do have stealth. I can do that too. They're both D8s.
Okay. So,
I got a 6. Unless, yeah, that's a 6.
all right. Unless anyone is going to attempt to contest, I imagine I wouldn't notice. So,
Or investigating.
And I would more
we
than
might
likely.
need something to point of reference.
I would more than likely wait
so
until I'm the
you-
last one out of the room.
so you've got the one LePont
Ring.
ring, and you thought there was 3, but
Just
now there's
sit in that
there
front
was only
pocket.
2. Now there was probably only 2. You have no idea. So, but that's essentially the gist of what you can find here at Hughes' residence.
He was on his way from his job, right?
Yes.
And he worked at the cemetery.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, though for some reason he has a connection with LePont since he obviously bought jewelry from him.
Well-
Or at least bought jewelry that was made by him.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe.
Shall we follow his tracks from his workplace?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I mean, we could also look. Since we got like a piece of French jewelry from here, why don't we check? We could check at least soon. Maybe Buck Nelson. Maybe he had some jewelry too. Maybe there's a connection with that, not just the physical things of the victims.
That's possible, but
Yeah.
we might also want to check the scenes of the crime while they're still fresh
Yeah, let's do that
before
first.
that appropriate time comes around.
Yeah, we could do that first.
Yeah.
So you wish to head for the crime scenes then?
Yes. It's the crime scene.
All
Starting
right.
with the freshest one.
The freshest one would, of course.
It's not 8 or 9 p.m., is it?
No, it is not.
It's still daytime.
We'll say it's
midday.
Yeah, it's midday. We'll say it's noon at this point.
Hmm.
So, of course, the freshest and closest to where your current location would be Hughes.
All right.
The small alleyway appears to be a cut through from one main faro to the next, where it then connects up to the road that Hughes' home was on. So he was not far from home, roughly, maybe half a mile or something from home when he was attacked. So you get to this alleyway that this appeared to have happened.
I'm strutting up with my cane, just skipping.
Looking fancy. There appears to be quite a lot of, not only is the body, of course, been taken from the crime scene, there appears to be, not much of a procedure of keeping people out of it. So,
Oh, of course, because we have to have our constables not play rugby in the freaking alleyways.
yeah, of course. So it's rather not very well preserved. The blood that has stained the cobblestone ground has essentially seeped away. You can still see the outline or the discoloration, but it appears to have been trekked through by many a people by now.
Of course.
I suddenly want to invent the crime scene tape.
Yes, that would be nice. And is there a local constabulary in this area?
You can go looking for one if you'd like to give me a notice roll.
No.
And are there...
I'll get one with him.
You would roll a d6, not a second d4.
Well, according to this, I roll a d4.
Yes, and you also roll a d6.
Because you have explosive dice.
It's wild die.
Wild dice.
Because
Need
you
a
are
D4?
1d4,
And
1d6.
There you go.
D4?
You're good right there.
So you have your roll, and then you have your wild die, which is always a d6.
Well, I thought it's attributes, skills.
No. Skill, wild dice.
Okay. I rolled an 8.
You can re-roll
re-roll
that
the
4,
four.
and it's just the single dice.
Yeah.
Re-roll,
Just
die.
Reroll this
17.
Re-roll the 4.
Yep,
All right.
roll a 4.
Nico wasn't listening when I explained the game earlier.
17 on
I could
notice.
tell.
7.
3 out of 7. Yeah, you see him. He's walking through this kind of smaller, I guess, handful of stalls, kind of bit of a market area. He's just walking through, just kind of looking at the wares and things, and going in between patrons and such. He appears to be just not really doing much of anything.
Oi there. I don't suppose I could get your time here, but I was wondering about the crime scene over here, or what was left of it.
So, yes, I was here this morning when it was still fresh. It was quite a grisly scene. I'm
No
surprised
kidding.
that you had heard about it.
Well, I would be one that's trying to investigate in such things and try to put an end to it.
Some kind of vigilante, eh?
Something along those lines, but just a concerned citizen.
Well, there's not a lot I can tell you, but I can try.
Alright, so obviously this victim was found here, though he was the third in this line of 5 days.
Yes, the other ones were killed a few nights ago.
Mm-hmm. And I don't suppose we were able to track down their whereabouts prior to ending up in that alleyway?
From what it seems is that most of them were returning from their place of business to home. I mean, it was...
Place of business to home, and wasn't Hughes the groundskeeper?
He was the Undertaker, yes.
Undertaker, yes. Over in the cemetery, which is...
He points that way.
It wouldn't hurt to take a look at the cemetery. I don't think.
All right.
Before we get to that, can I see if there's any windows or anything overlooking this alley?
There there's a handful, but I mean,
Are they homes? Or are they?
It'd be hard to tell from this particular angle. You know, this area is it's more of a business district, but there are a few homes, of course, above the shops, so they're likely the home of a shop owner.
And how close are the other crime scenes in comparison to this one?
They're pretty close. They're all in the same
General area.
Yeah.
Their directions that the victims were going were into their homes.
Yes,
away
they were
from their
going.
business.
They were going into particularly different directions.
Okay.
But they all had happened to be passing through this same district.
Is there a manhole that connects this area?
Of course, there's a sewer system that runs all over London.
Yeah, I'd hope so. Otherwise,
Well, I mean, within the last 2 blocks. That would
Yes,
go
just
within that pattern.
Just like the rest of London, there is sewer.
Otherwise, where else
He
would
pointed.
people do business?
There's a manhole right there. I mean, there's another manhole down there.
See if we can find any claw marks or anything on the.
I don't suppose
'cause my
any of
kid's
you
way
saw
to get
any
around.
claw
Does
marks.
somebody want to help me lift this up?
I got a notice check. I don't know if that could be used. I mean, it's not. I don't think
you
it's as
can
good as
help
an
me with it.
investigation check.
So you can roll to see if you can notice anything on the actual manhole cover or if they're close by.
My whopping 3.
I would say that's a no.
I'm gonna.
My eyes are for shooting.
Yeah.
Not for anything close.
I'm gonna. Does this manhole have a hole like where I could stick something in it?
Yes, there's like the sides where you can kind of grab it with a hook or something.
Okay. I'm gonna take my rope out and I'm gonna take my my hook and I'm gonna attach it to it and I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay, so you
I'll aid.
I'll hold on
you
to
get the hook
strength.
of the grappling hook. Yeah, go ahead and roll as well if you'd like to.
okay.
Roll strength.
Strength.
I would probably
you-
want
A
to.
7.
So you'll get
So it's
you get a plus 1 from him.
4.
Another +1.
You got
I got 2 6s and a 3.
okay. So you got
and it's
another
strength
+1 from him.
plus
Strength.
Just strength.
That's
okay.
just strength.
Okay.
You have to roll a d6 as
Well,
well.
roll a d6 on top of that.
So
7.
4. It's this single dice.
Oh.
It's the highest one.
So with the 4, that's another success or another +1. So you have +3 to your
7.
to your rolls. So, yeah, you're able to pull this manhole cover up and you look down. There's a ladder that leads down into the sewer, from what you can see.
I want to investigate the bottom of the
Manhole cover?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Am I just rolling notice or am I rolling investigation?
You'd roll investigation, which if you're not trained in something, you roll a d4 and take a -2.
Of
course.
I am going to use a Benny for it.
It's okay. Okay, so you use your second penny.
Do you want me to investigate?
Do we add a wild die to that d4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still a -2.
Okay, -2.
An 11.
The wild die 2?
Yes. Yes, whichever one you get.
Okay, well, I got a 3 and a 0.
That one's a 5 over there.
5.
Oh, yeah, well, you said
Oh,
minus
so for
2.
3, yeah.
I rolled an 11, so a 9.
9. It's very rusty, but there does not appear to be any fresh markings or anything. In all honesty, it appears that this is the first time this manhole cover has been cleared for, I don't know,
Years.
quite a while.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back.
All right, so you slide it back over, falls in place. You remove your hook. And the constable says, "Well, yeah, we kind of thought it's maybe something along the lines of, I don't know, remember Jack the Ripper from a few years ago? Maybe something along those lines who is targeting more or less well-to-do gentlemen. So we're on the, we have a few night patrols that are going out trying to find it."
The thing that did this was more animalistic.
So, have you ever seen one of Jack's victims?
Well,
They got more bloody as time gone on. Really bad.